I'm Artistic Gamer 7 and I'm back with a build sort of video, except for this one instead is actually sort of a apartment makeover build. It does belong to a family that is in my main save. I actually have played them for the Townie Life series. If you've been been around long enough, then you would recognize them. It's Callie and Marie, who are based off of the Squid Sisters from Splatoon. They're in Splatoon 1 and 2. Mainly in 1, though. Their presence there is a little bit more dominant. But, so yeah, these Sims are based off of them. But in my game, I sort of take, like, the basis of how popular they are in Splatoon, and I do apply it to my game as well. So even though we don't necessarily have, like, you know, celebrity stuff and things like that currently in the game, who knows, maybe eventually we'll get to a point where you can have celebrity status based off of, like, maybe your job or something like that, because I think some of the jobs that are already in there could sort of give you a celebrity status already. Like, if you're a high-up politician, a lot of Sims are probably going to know you just from that. If you're in the social media career, you know, you'd be, like, social media famous, or like, even, like, with some of the other careers, like, with painting, not all the Sims maybe know you as a famous painter, but I feel like a creative Sim would know you as a famous painter, and, like, you can be the musicians can be, so, like, maybe something like that if they implemented it, like, depending on what your career, and also other ways maybe you can get famous by, but as of right now, that is not in the game, so I just pretend. So, they are known, to be very, very popular. Everyone knows them, sort of everyone would like to hang out with them and looks for a chance to hang out with them, basically. But they're known to actually throw parties all the time. A lot of the times it's at their place. Not always, but typically it's going to be at their own home. So I decided to remodel the apartment, because originally I left it, I just changed some of the things here and there to make it look a little bit more like they decorated it versus actually what it was like to begin with. But recently I was like, you know what, because I was sort of I was playing them off screen a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I don't think this apartment, like, fully fits how I think their apartment should be. So I ended up going and redoing it. For the most part, I sort of tried to take the basis of what was already there and given to me, but just change it a little bit. I think the very top level is the one that I've changed the most, but still I didn't try to, because, I mean, it's an apartment, so you can't go doing everything willy-nilly just what you want to. You have limitations. So there was some things that I tried to keep similar so that it looked like, you know, they didn't do a complete overhaul of apartment, because normally you can't do that. But, the bottom floor is sort of like their party room. So, the floor is a little crazy, it's a little obnoxious to a certain degree, but at the same time it looks cool, and for, like, a party club type atmosphere, I think it works and it fits. So, that's what this area down here is. So, it's meant for parties, it's meant for people coming and hanging out, dancing around, being silly. And then the middle floor is sort of like the in-between of the top and the bottom floor. You have your kitchen and your living room, you have, like, a little balcony thing. So it's a place that you can hang out with people, you can go eat, and do things like that, like you would with guests or just some, maybe family who comes around or whatever. Things like that. So it sort of can be a party space, but at the same time it can be just a normal living space at the same time. Then the top level is where their bedrooms are, so that is the actual living space that they have going on. I think, like I was mentioning, the top floor I think is the one that I changed the most, just because there has been a few changes to their household recently, so I wanted to keep that in mind and sort of redo that area to fit how the changes have come about and things like that. So that was the biggest change, was the upstairs, and I actually added some floor up to the upstairs because it was a little bit more open to the bottom level. But to me, the way it was open, it was only, you could see like the bathroom that was downstairs was awkwardly, so you would just see this random either you could see down into the bathroom, or it'd just be a random flooring over there that you couldn't actually necessarily touch or walk on or anything. And what space you could see was mainly stairs. You can see down on the stairs and maybe a little bit of the dining area. So I decided just to bring the floor almost all the way over. It is a little bit more open still, but not completely open like it was. Because I didn't see the point of there being either you could see down into the bathroom so you could see people using the bathroom, or there'd just be a random floating floor that you couldn't access. So I did make that big change as well upstairs. But anyway, I hope you like how it turns out. I'm not going to talk for the whole entire time. There are parts, I do cut out some of the parts because otherwise the video had been long. So I cut out like the bathrooms, or when I started being like too repetitive or staying on one particular thing for too long, I cut most of those parts out. The bathrooms are in the screenshots at the end just in case you want to see what they look like, but usually bathrooms are a little more boring to watch. They're not, you know, at least in my opinion, like you can have really grand, nice bathrooms, but I wouldn't necessarily say any of the bathrooms that they have are really grand and nice, especially the downstairs area, because those were more just have enough toilets for having multiple guest overs, because they actually have like 2 half baths down here and then one that at least has a shower in it. It doesn't have a bathtub, but it has a shower in it. And then there's 1 bathroom on the main floor and then 2 on the top floor. But that's because they do have parties quite often, so they want to make sure that they have enough bathrooms. Only one of them is super sort of on the grand side, which is considered the master bathroom. And, you know, Callie was lucky enough to be able to get the actual master side of the apartment. But anyway, so that would have been the only bathroom that would have been like super awesome to see, but it still wasn't that amazing. I've seen people build much better bathrooms, so I wasn't too concerned, so I did cut all the bathrooms out. And also with Marie's room, another reason why I ended up cutting some things out was because when I was even downstairs making, I was realizing that the money was going to be going down pretty quickly, and I was like, uh-oh. So I actually checked like their household items, sold that stuff to get some money because they had quite a few things in there that I didn't know was in there. Then I stopped to check their individual inventory items and sold them. And then another time I had to stop because they just completely ran out of money and I could not finish Marie's room for anything. So I had to get them to play through a day. A day or two. I don't remember how long exactly, but I needed them to do like a bunch of stuff to earn money, so they had to go to work and do other things to get money so that I can finish Marie's room. And I do actually record a Townie Life episode after this in this household, so I hope you're really looking forward to that. It sort of is focusing on the whole party aspect, that they have huge parties here all the time and that they sort of hang on to that. But so there is that coming up. It should come up like a day or two after this video, 3 at the max. So be looking forward to that. But so her room actually will look different in the screenshots versus what you see at the very end of the video, because after I play through the Townie Life episode, because I recorded the Townie Life as soon as I finished this makeover, I still felt bad for Marie's room compared to Callie's. Like, yeah, she technically has the smaller room of the two, so of course it isn't going to be, like, have as much and as nice of stuff to a certain degree that Callie's does. But I still thought that it was nowhere near where it should have been, so I do go back and change her room, but it is in the screenshots. Because when I went to take the screenshots, I remembered, when I went to put the screenshots in, I remembered I changed the room, so I went back and took some screenshots of her room, so that I had more updated screenshots. So one of the screenshots is her room updated. So, and I'm much happier with it after I did that. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking soon and just let music play for the rest of it. I hope you've enjoyed this build and I hope you like how it turns out. Definitely be looking forward to the Townie Life series so you can actually see this build in action with Sims in it and going all over the place, because it was a pretty sizable party that happened, so it was a lot going on. All of my Sims 4 playlists will be down in the description below, so that if you're watching this, maybe you can, after the Townie Life episode goes live, you can go find the Townie Life playlist, click on it, and you can get to the episode where I'm back with the Squid Sisters. Hope that you will like that video as well. I had fun with it. Also, my social media will be down there as well, so you can go check those out and follow me over on those. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Share the video so that others may enjoy, and hit that little notification bell so you're notified when a video does go live. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.